You see someone doing better than you, and suddenly your own progress feels worthless. And sometimes the problem isn't always comparison itself, it's comparing your behind the scenes to someone else highlighted reel, right? And this comparison thing kind of also kills your identity. It kind of affects your mind and also deteriorates your self-belief, which will really affect you into achieving your goals and your ambition. You start comparing your goals, your achievements or whatever it is, instead of asking yourself what you actually want. You stop enjoying your progress because someone else is always ahead of you, someone is always better than you. You always have these thoughts, and whenever you do something better, there's someone or anyone who's better than you pops up in your head, and it kind of leads to feeling that you're worthless and that your work doesn't really carry any meaning because of that thing. But what we do need to understand is that there is always going to be someone who is richer than us, who's going to be richer than you, who's going to be more successful, who's going to be more famous or whatever it is. And they are going to be always better than you at some point, even if that's something that you really want to be better at. And what we really need to do is we have to learn the skill of letting go, have the skill of not thinking about it that much, to a certain extent that it will literally affect our self-belief. So it's very important that you stop comparing yourself to other people and understand the fact understand the fact that there is always going to be someone who's going to be better than you at certain points, and you need to accept and deal with it and just let it go, because that shit doesn't really matter. All right. And I understand it's human nature for why people always compare themselves for this as well. I have been in that place as well, where I constantly compare myself to other people, who are at like comparing my chapter 1 to someone else chapter 100 or chapter 10, and I will be feeling sad about it and this and that stuff, and I'm this or whatever it is. But what we do need to understand is that everyone has their own paths and everyone has their own stories. Everyone has got different lives, and from every different angle, there's no way that you can compare yourself to other people. So just let it go and just focus on yourself, on improving yourself and just achieving what you want, rather than comparing your goals or achievements or whatever it is to some other people's achievements or to other people's goals. And yes, you shouldn't completely ignore your competition or whatever comparison it is, because it can also sometimes be useful as a form of information about what they're actually doing as well. So the goal isn't to never compare yourself to other people, but it's actually to use comparison as a form of information rather than as a form of measurement of your own worth. And also ask yourself whenever you see yourself comparing yourself to other people, because sometimes the comparison also comes out of reasons like jealousy or envy like that as well. And so it also kind of creates this illusion that they are better than you on certain things that doesn't really even matter to you in reality. So ask yourself, do you actually want the thing that they have, that you find yourself comparing to this certain person or whatever it is, or do you actually want the validation that comes with it? Because sometimes because sometimes people forget that that they do not really actually want the thing that they have with their comparison or their competition, but rather the validation that they get out of it. Your life becomes boring when you are constantly chasing someone else's scoreboard. So it's very important that you just focus on yourself and never ever measure your worth by comparing yourself to other people. And yes, comparison becomes dangerous when you stop asking to yourself what you want and start asking who you're supposed to become. I hope this video is helpful to you in some way. If you have any thoughts for this video or any problems with your life, you can definitely leave it down in the comments. Until then, stay disciplined.